Hello fam, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So whenever I am starting my day and I know it's going to be very busy, I like having my favorite peanut butter milkshake, which I've been having for like the past 10 years now. I learned this recipe from my mom. So yeah, this is how I start my day. I will leave the ingredients and the measurement in the description for you guys, but I don't really measure anymore because I've been doing this for so long. But yes, I will leave all the ingredients for you in the description. This stuff is so good. This stuff is so good. Now, when I moved into my new place, my landlord was so kind to give me an old fridge that had been at my place. But you know when someone gives you something and you don't really want that gift because it's just somehow, but you have to somehow just accept it. That's what happened here. So let me show you guys how I transformed the fridge into something more usable. First, I had to take out all the stickers that were on the fridge and clean it, wipe it before I started spraying. And I used a white glossy spray. It's very important that you use the gloss white spray. So that's what I used. And yeah, let's see how it turned out. There was no particular technique here. I actually just sprayed randomly all over, and then I began focusing specifically on the dots, and those dots that you see there, that is rust. So just a quick backstory, I actually moved into my place just before the lockdown, so I didn't have time to get a new fridge like I wanted to. In fact, new appliances altogether because we were in lockdown, so I had no choice but to make do with what was there. So after a couple of sprayings, it already started looking much better. So I went to work using whatever tool I could find, which was the cover of the spray bottle, to take out more of the stickers, just making sure that when I spray, it's going to be a smooth surface. So I just ran out of the can. I only bought one. I don't know why I only bought one actually. So I'm quickly going to go to the grocery store to get another one. So when I got back home, I was really hungry and I wanted to make something to eat before continuing. So I made some mushroom and peppers and onion situation and made, is it called a quesadilla or what do you call it? I don't even know what you call it, but yeah, that's basically like a chapati at the bottom, and then I put the vegetables and covered it with another chapati and shoved it in the oven to become nice and crispy. Best believe I burned my hands, but I was so hungry I didn't even care. So here's take number 2, and I just wanted to show you guys that you need to make sure it's a gloss white when you're dealing with appliances, because there's a matte white and there is a gloss white. So most fridges are actually come in glossy paint, not matte paint. So I went ahead to do the top as well, in fact the whole entire surround, and that was basically it, guys. This is it. Like, there's no magic to it. This is really all I did. I covered it in paint. So in this video, I really wanted to show you guys some ideas on healthy snacks, because this is basically how I eat during the day. I don't really have heavy meals apart from during the end of the day, so most times this is how I eat. So from the milkshake to the little chapati meal you saw, and then now I'm having a banana and nachi fruit salad. Oh man, this was so good. So lately, I found that I wasn't being as productive as I could be, and I think I was just overwhelmed with, a lot. Sometimes when you have so much to do, you actually don't end up doing anything, and that was the state I was getting into. So I decided to put together a Google Calendar, just scheduling, my timeline of events in terms of what I have to do with my academic related stuff, blogging, YouTubing, and everything else. So I was basically about to set up a Google Calendar for I think the next 3 months or so. Yeah. If you've never used Google Calendar before, I actually highly recommend it. You can set it up on your laptop, which is what I did, and then everything appears on your phone as well, which is what you're seeing right now. This is on my phone, and you can literally set up everything you can do for the day. You can put it in different colors, and it's just really, really helpful if you're a busy person. And finally, I made some spinach and mushrooms for supper. What you come to find in this channel is I really love mushrooms. So that's what I had for supper, just keeping it light and fresh and healthy. Today, I wanted to make a fruit smoothie for breakfast. And that's just because lately I've been feeling kind of heavy, not necessarily in terms of my mental state, but just in terms of like my body. I don't know, I'm just feeling a little bit heavy-ish, not bloating, but I don't know what's going on. So I just decided to make something light and refreshing, just to help me feel kind of brighter and lighter, if that makes any sense. So I've never actually made a fruit smoothie before. This is my first time, but I did look up certain tips and tricks on how to make it come out very, very thick. I'm not using any extra ingredients like sugar or honey or anything like that, just fruits alone. So to make this fruit smoothie, I'm using frozen strawberries and blueberries, and also sesame seeds, which are very good and nutritious, and frozen bananas as well. Oh yes, and of course a blender. So the key tip here is to make sure that the fruits are frozen. That's the only way you're going to get a thick smoothie. So they have to be completely frozen. You can use whatever fruits you want, but it particularly works well with mangoes as well, and just fruits that do not contain a lot of visible liquid like watermelon, So other kinds of fruits like bananas, also your mangoes. So now we just blend everything, allow the machine to do all the work. And when you blend, you make sure that you stop halfway to stir everything in. The pieces that may be stuck somewhere, just make sure that you press it down and you continue blending until everything is nicely mixed. This is as mixed as I could get it, and as you can see, it's already looking so creamy and has a really nice consistency. I did leave some pieces not fully mixed because I wanted a crunchy kind of taste. And yes guys, so this is the first scoop. You can see it really looks like ice cream, the real deal. And to top it all up, top it all up, I garnished it, or I decorated it rather, with bananas and blueberries, and also the sesame seeds, which actually sprinkled by mistake. The packet burst open, so yeah, by mistake, aesthetic effect. Ta-da! This is our final look. What do you guys think? How did I do? Is this something you're going to try for breakfast, or maybe if you want a healthy snack, you don't want to have something heavy? Highly recommend. Honestly, the taste was good, but the fruits were not very sweet themselves, so it actually wasn't as sweet as I would have liked it to be. So I think next time I will use a fruit like mangoes that has more sweetness. Gangster. Nice. What is this pimple doing here? I mean, seriously, I cannot just have clear face without something popping up. I just wanted to say something. I'm very, very confused with this whole coronavirus situation. I don't know how it is in the country where you are, but in South Africa we are currently going into the 5th month of lockdown. Five months. I've noticed that in some countries things have kind of returned back to normal, but here things are definitely not back to normal. Like, I look on social media, I see some countries where the viral, like the virus, the statistics in those countries show that they still have a high prevalence, but things have somehow eased up a little bit and people are more mobile. But in South Africa, like, things are not getting any better. We've been in lockdown for 5 months, so I'm confused because I'm comparing like the fact that we've been in lockdown for 5 months and things are getting worse, but in other countries they've not been in lockdown for as long, but they are out and about and mobile. And I know that some countries are not testing as much as they are testing in South Africa, and also South Africa is probably more likely to have higher cases because this country has a large population of immune compromised people with, you know, HIV and AIDS and diabetes is really high here. So I know I cannot compare entirely, and probably in South Africa they're doing more testing as well of actual people than in other countries. I'm just assuming. But with that said, man, 5 months of lockdown, though, like, yo, it's gonna get to a point where honestly I don't know how long they're gonna be able to keep people in, because if the cases keep on increasing, even though we are in lockdown, yes, they will increase when the lockdown stops, but who knows how long this thing is going to continue. And you know, I just have so many questions, like, oh my gosh, yeah, and I really feel bad for people who are losing their jobs. Businesses have been so affected. So yeah, guys, it's really tough out there. If you know any family that has been affected by this stuff, please just keep them in prayer, support them where you can. It's not easy, but yeah.